And I literally went up to the welfare office and I said, you know what, I don't need food stamps anymore. Where do I sign to stop getting them? Oh my gosh, the look on their face, they were like, what?
Welcome to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tijerina.
And I'm Cathy Tijerina.
And today we're going to talk about making the most of your second chances.
I don't know about you, but I have needed a lot of second chances in my life, whether that's in my relationship or at work or just simply in life in general.
So as we talk about second chances today, we want to encourage you to think about the times where, you know what, I wish I had a second chance. I wish I had a do-over, so I would have done it a different way.
This includes maybe your relationship has become really stale, right? And you're just like, wow, I don't know what happened here, but somewhere there's become a rift in our relationship, or maybe you've completely destroyed a relationship. And you're like, wow, I don't even have connection with that person anymore. He or she has left me, and now I don't know what to do. And suddenly a door is open. Now, how do you take advantage of that to rebuild that relationship in a healthy way?
So today we're going to talk about just that. How do you rebuild the things that you may have broken? And how do you build upon your life so that you don't make the same mistakes over and over again?
When we think about making the same mistakes, we see couples all the time that are stuck in these cycles of self-destruction. Ron and I used to be there. We were so stuck in our own self-centered way of looking at life that we just kept making the same mistakes over and over again and eroding trust, eroding our relationship, not just between us, but our relationships with other people.
If you're practicing avoidance, and what is avoidance? That means when you do something and you ignore it, when you say something you shouldn't have said, but you try not to own it, right? You blame somebody else for your own actions. We call these type of individuals lames. You know what a lame is? Somebody who never wants to own their story. Well, I know personally in my life, the mistakes and the hurt and pain that I caused, not only in Cathy's life, but in other people's lives around me, because why? It was all about me. So if you're willing to change, if you're willing to be a student, and you want to grow, and you want to become a healthy partner, a healthy person in your community, in your family, in your society, in your relationship, then you're at the right place.
So if you're ready to take advantage of your second chances, we're going to be sharing with you how to actually leverage those so you can actually have the best outcome possible. When we're talking about second chances, we're talking about second chances in 3 areas of your life. Today, we're going to tell you how to take advantage of the second chance in your relationship, how to take advantage of second chances in your work, and in life in general. So you do not want to miss this. We are going to transform your life by giving you the information you need to change the course of your life.
So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
I'm your coach, Tremaine Hall. We're looking forward to getting you to the next level in where you want to be in fitness. Our whole method is to make you mentally tough and also physically strong. We're going to start with dynamic warm-up, lower core, upper body, and also full body blast. Get ready to take your fitness to the next level with TYRO Fit and Stenos.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. Today we're talking about how to make the most of your second chances.
And I'm going to say this right up front. If you are breathing, that means that at some point in your life, you have needed to have a second chance. You've needed to prove that, you know what, I'm deserving of a second chance. I screwed up. I messed up. Please let me show you that I can actually do it right. We are all human. We all make mistakes. But when we get that second chance, if we don't know how to make the most of it, then we might need a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, and then we've burned all of our bridges, and then we don't get any more chances. And that's why it's really important that we understand the value of that second chance and how to actually create a change in our relationship in order to make the most of that second chance.
Do you remember the story when we were little of the boy who cried wolf? Well, this has a lot to do with having a healthy relationship. The little boy who once cried wolf and there was no wolf, and what happened? The people came to his rescue. And he did this constantly to where the people began to not believe in him. In fact, they became very upset with him. And when the wolf showed up, he cried wolf, he blew the horn, but nobody showed up.
So you're probably asking, well, what does that have to do with second chances and how to make the most of them in my relationship? Everything. Because when you screw up, your first thing is like, wow, you know what? That's never going to happen again. You can trust me. You can believe me. I promise I'm in it to win it this time. And then when you aren't and you are found out to be lying, right, just to try to get that attention back, try to get somebody to forgive you, and then you do the same thing over and over again, well, what happens is people begin to build walls, and then you've established a relationship with somebody that doesn't trust you because it's a very tenuous establishment. Well, if you really want to change that, you've got to take advantage of that second chance where you're not crying wolf, you're not saying, oh no, really baby, this time I'm for real.
I've changed.
Yeah.
You know, how many times have I said in our relationship,
Oh,
baby,
gosh.
that was a fluke, that was a mistake, I won't do it again. In fact, I'll go to counseling, I'll call somebody, I'll help people, let people hold me accountable. My goodness, how many times did I say that and didn't mean it, right?
And I will tell you this, something that we tell people all the time is that if somebody tells you who they are, believe them. And so that's not with their words, but by how they act. So if the way that you're acting is telling your partner you don't really care about them, you can't get mad when you don't get a second chance. You can't get mad when you don't get that third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh chance because you keep screwing it up and blowing it up because you're practicing lameness.
You know, when we talk about having a healthy relationship, this is learned behavior. You have to be taught on how to have a healthy relationship because first of all, if you don't love you, right, then how can you love somebody else? I used to tell Kathy all the time, I love you, babe, with my eyes squinting, right? Because why? I was high, right? I'm like, I'm not high. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, right? But I would tell her, you would know that I'm high, but I would be in denial or I would lie. No, baby, I'm not high, but my eyes would tell her that I'm high, right? Because why? I didn't care about us. I didn't care about what we were building. Because I was a lame. I had no idea of the concepts and the reality that I was creating versus the reality I wanted to create.
So when you think about your relationship and you say, gosh, you know what? This is right, speaking right to you that you've screwed up and you've screwed up. You've been dishonest, you've cheated, you've lied, all of these things that have destroyed the us in your relationship. And that you finally have the opportunity to say, you know what? I have a chance. It might be your second chance. It might be your 10th chance. But you really want to make the best of it, then we're going to give you some tips and tools on how can you make the most of this opportunity to restore what you have broken.
If you're ready to grow in your relationship, if you're ready to have a different outcome, I guarantee you, I promise you that this is the video for you. But you got to watch it to the end. You can't just expect to get something and you don't complete the whole process. That's why our relationships are in the tank because we never want to follow through. Follow through on this video and I guarantee you, you will be happy.
We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about second chances with work. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey, sweetheart, you got that blank piece of paper that I need?
Sure do. Right here.
Well, that's not a blank piece of paper.
It obviously is a blank piece of paper.
This is not a blank piece of paper. Why is it that you always give me something that's not what I want?
You know what, Ron? It's obviously
I
blank.
do not
don't know
want
what you're
this. This is
complaining
not
about.
what I wanted.
Oh, no matter what I do, it's always wrong. You
What are
find
you
fault
talking
in everything.
about?
It's
This
obviously
is
a
not
blank piece of
blank.
paper. I am sick and tired
Why
of
do you
arguing all
always
the time.
trip
It's
in
never
this?
good
You
enough.
never
I'm
listen to what I'm
tired of
telling
you. I'm done.
Just stop! Wow, what did you just witness? I'm Ron Tijerina.
And I'm Cathy Tijerina.
And together we have been working with tens of thousands of couples for the last 2 decades.
And we have been helping couples understand that nobody's right and nobody's wrong. They're just each seeing it from their own perspective and unable to bridge together.
So when's the last time you were in a discussion with your significant other or your spouse and you had a disagreement over something so small that turned into something so big?
So many of the couples we work with have this experience where they argue about something because they only see it from their own perspective.
So I'm looking at it from my vantage point, and guess what? Frankly, I'm only want to see it my way, because it's my way or the what? The highway.
Over time, what happens is these issues start to pile up and they create more and more distance between couples. And so now we're arguing about every small thing because we have to defend our perspective.
As we began arguing, it really was apparent whose side I was on. I wasn't on her side and she wasn't on my side. In fact, we were on opposite teams.
We became enemies, and what was more important for us was to be right than for us to actually understand each other. When couples do this, they continue to erode their relationship. What you need to do is get the issues out from between you, move them out in front of you, and remember that you're a team able to navigate through anything together by seeing all sides of the issue.
Now remember, there is nothing more important than us.
If you are sick and tired of being on opposite sides and arguing over every small thing, then this is exactly where you need to be.
Now it's time to introduce you to a program that's going to teach you how to resolve these issues.
In this dynamic program that's internationally recognized, you're going to learn how to resolve conflict, how to get on the same page and listen for understanding. Couple communication, which was written by Dr. Sherrod Miller and Dr. Phyllis Miller, will actually help you be on the same team and recognize the power of resolving conflict together.
One of the greatest tools that you're going to embrace is really coming to the understanding that what you've been doing is natural. But this is learned behavior, and we're about ready to take you to a next level on how to enhance your relationship.
Now, if you're sick and tired of having all of these petty issues come between you, if you are exhausted from every time that you have interaction with your spouse, it turns into drama, then this is where you want to be. You want to sign up for couple communication. You want to take this program together, and I guarantee you that you are going to love it.
Before I even came, I had controlling issues. I had problems with actually being able to talk to my fiance. And since I've been here and learned new experienced efforts, I can change my life now, and I can actually listen to her and know what to help her with.
Information that was given was really helpful. We'll be able to use it in our everyday life for our marriage, for our children, and everything else. So I really enjoyed this weekend.
It's helped me to be able to let down guards that I was not willing to let down, because now I see a change in him, and I see him, becoming a different person than he was. He's more excited about the whole project, and now we're thinking like, we want to be a part of something like this.
Stop telling yourself that tomorrow you're going to do better. Stop saying to yourself, tomorrow I'll find that program. Today's your opportunity to do something not only for yourself, but for all those around you.
In couple communication, you're going to learn a brand new process. This process is going to help you avoid ever fighting over petty stuff again. It's going to take you to a new level in your relationship as you learn how to listen for understanding, to clearly articulate and share from your own experience. You're going to get on the mats. You're going to have notepads. You're going to learn skills that you're going to be like, wow, if only I had known this at the beginning.
It's not too late. We are all on this journey. We are all on this continuous improvement plan. But guess what? You have to take the first step, and let today be that first step for you and your significant other.
If you're ready to like each other again and be on the same team, this is the program for you. Sign up today.
Welcome back. Today we're talking about second chances. We just finished talking a little bit about second chances in relationships, and now we want to talk about second chances at work.
I don't know about you, but I have needed a lot of second chances in my life at work.
So have I.
A lot. If I think back to when Ron and I first got together, oh my gosh, you could have called me sick call commando. I was always calling off work. Oh, I wanted to sleep in. Maybe I had a rough weekend. Maybe I had a headache. Maybe there was something else I wanted to do.
Or maybe you were hungover.
Yeah, maybe I was hungover, but I still wanted that job. So I would go back in and I would plead my cause. And my supervisor would give me another opportunity, another chance to make it right. And then I would blow that chance. And eventually I knew it was either quit or be fired, because I never took advantage of the second chances that I got at work.
When you think about the job, and you think about when you got the job, you told that person, you know what, I'm the one. I'm going to make you successful. I'm going to show up on time. I'm going to do everything it takes to not only get the job done, but I'm thinking in my mind, I want a raise, I want a promotion. I really want to do something with my life. But we didn't have any skill as character. We didn't have any character to get us there, right? Because we were living check by check. We were living day by day. I was living job to job. And guess what? Every outcome was disastrous. We never found joy. We never found peace. Why? Because I couldn't be taken at my word. All my relationships at the job site were doo-doo.
That is so true. We did not realize the value of the opportunity we had when we were given that second chance or that third chance. We did not know how to make the most of that opportunity. So instead, we just kept taking it for granted, until we had established, and I say we because Ron and I were both doing the same lame stuff, until finally we got to a place where we could not be taken at our word. And it took a lot for us to reestablish our reputation. I mean, even now as I think back to that, I feel that embarrassment and that shame of, oh my gosh, what the heck was I thinking?
But that history doesn't own us anymore.
Right.
Because once you reestablish who you are and you realize, you know what, I'm better than this. I can do better. And that's freedom. That's powerful. Especially when you're in it to win it, right? That means you're going to hold each other accountable. That means you're going to support one another. You're going to encourage one another. Get up, go get it. And we get hungry about success, not hungry about the weekend. We're no longer singing that old song, everybody's working for the weekend. We don't sing that song anymore,
And
right?
I was thinking the goofy song, oh, the world owes me a living.
You know what? And the world doesn't owe us a living.
Right.
In fact, the world owes us nothing, but what we owe is our word, our commitment, our gratitude, in not only for ourselves, in each other, but for the people who come alongside us.
When we woke up to the fact that we were lames and that what we were doing was not getting us what we wanted, think about that. Is what you're doing getting you what you want? Because if it's not, it's time to do something different. When we realized that and that light bulb went off, we were like this, oh my gosh, what the heck have we been doing? And then we had to put together a plan. How do we now make the most of this opportunity in front of us? And we learned a lot as we reestablished our reputation, and now we teach people what it means to be that most effective employee, that most valuable employee, even if in the past you were the most annoying employee.
When we think about what does it take to wake up, when we think about what does it take to be taken at your word, when you're reestablishing your reputation, you got to roll up your sleeves, put your bootstraps on, because it's time to clean up the mess you created. So cleaning up our mess.
Who made that mess?
I made that mess, right?
Not your supervisor.
Not my supervisor, not my boss, not the guy next to me working with me. I made the mess. And when I began to own my story and realized that my lane that I was in was filled with trash and garbage, I had to begin picking it up. Have you ever seen people along the side of the road picking up the trash and they use this big stick and with this little clamps at the end? Why do they do that? Because they don't want to touch the garbage. They don't want to touch the doo-doo. Well, you know what? In life, you don't get to sometimes use a stick. You don't sometimes get to reach far away and pick it up and then put it in the bag out there. You don't get to do that in real life. You got to get down in there and get the root of the issue that's causing you to have a life of dissatisfaction, a life of chaos, a life where you are not accomplishing anything, and you got to pull the root out, and that root, what we're going to talk about right now real quick, is selfishness. I was a selfish individual, and I didn't think of nothing of Cathy, of the place that I worked at. I was a lame.
And because we each were very selfish in our own right, that we were not able to see the opportunity and the gloriousness of that opportunity. Now, if I get a second chance, believe you me, I know that is a golden opportunity to restore my reputation, to restore my relationships. You see, just because I get a golden opportunity at work doesn't mean I'm going to get it in my relationship. That's why we're talking about all three things: your relationship, work, and life in general. But I promise you that when you learn the concept of leveraging those second opportunities, that will spill into every other area of your life.
Man, and this takes hard work, but you got to be honest with yourself. If what you're doing creates doo-doo everywhere you go, can you imagine what your legacy smells like? Right? It stinks, but there's an opportunity in each and every one of us to change our outcomes, to change our goals, to change our future.
We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about taking advantage and leveraging those second opportunities in life in general. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Finding your purpose should not be rocket science. Why is it in life when we get excited about something, when something comes our way and we know that this is our purpose, we know this is the reason why we were put here on earth, we allow life and the circumstances thereof to snatch our joy, to steal our dreams? Why is it that we allow those things to just suffocate our growth?
Because we make it so complicated.
You need a program that shows you the process, that lays it out in front of you so that you know exactly when you're on track to unleash your fullest potential.
Because the word is, if you're faithful in the little things, you will be faithful in the big things.
In this program, we're going to teach you the process to actually reach your dreams. Some of you don't even know what your dreams are, so we're going to help you unlock that and unleash that. And then we're going to give you the process to step through all of the challenges, overcome every single obstacle in order to reach and achieve those dreams.
Part of the process of you becoming a new person for you is understanding what it means to be a TYRO, right? You're going to start reciting a pledge that is going to become your new mantra for your life, called the TYRO Pledge. And I promise you, this would change the way you think about you.
We're going to teach you the difference between a value statement and an observation. We're going to give you the formula on how to be successful in investing your time and energy. We're going to walk you through the process of developing a mission statement.
This is not going to be easy. This is not a cakewalk. But if you're ready to live up to your greatest potential, to take on every challenge that's in front of you and conquer them, then you're ready to be a TYRO.
You must know you are not on this path alone. As you go through this course, you're going to be going through this course with people all across the world. There are TYROs worldwide that are waiting to welcome you into this community, to become a person worth following and join the network that is transforming their lives and their communities.
The greatest honor of completing TYRO is to earn the TYRO pen. Many people from across the world, from all walks of life, have earned the TYRO pen by completing the 12 workshops that are in this program. But just because you signed up, and maybe you showed up for one or two of them, doesn't give you the right to earn the TYRO pin. You must complete this entire program to be pinned a TYRO.
This pinning is an outward symbol of something that's happened on the inside. Because throughout the TYRO process, you are going to be awakened to your purpose and your dreams. Your heartbeat begins to resurrect and beat again for the passion of being a leader in your home, your community, and your workplace.
If your dreams don't scare you, then you are not dreaming big enough. Sign up for this program if you're ready to be pushed to your greatest potential. Sign up for this program if you're ready to live the next level of life. You have what it takes. Everything that you need is right inside you. We're here to help you pull it out, your greatest potential. Quit running from yourself. Become the man or the woman that you were called to be here today, right now. Welcome back. Today we're having an opportunity of a lifetime, talking about second chances and what do you do with them.
How do you make the most of the second chances that you get in your relationships, at work, and in life in general? Unfortunately, most people have no idea. They know how to get a second chance, but they have no idea how to leverage that, how to make the most of it so that they actually don't need that third, fourth, fifth, sixth chance and fall flat on their face because they've exhausted all of their opportunity.
And the reason why people don't know is because this is learned behavior. You see, nobody taught us how to throw a temper tantrum. Nobody taught me how to lie. Nobody taught me how to cheat. But somebody had to take time to teach me how to become a man of honor, a man of good character, somebody worth following. Somebody had to take the time to teach me, but then the greatest thing about this is I had to be willing to learn. I had to humble myself and put myself in the position of a student to let somebody with more experience, more knowledge, more understanding, right, to teach me what does a man of honor look like. This does not come easy, nor is it natural.
But it is so worth it. Now, as I think back and I think, I graduated near the top of my class. I had a full ride scholarship to college, and I screwed it up royally. Fast forward from that moment in time to 5 years later, Ron's in prison, I'm on welfare, and I'm saying, what the heck have I done? And so I realized, if I want a better life, I have to stop throwing back every chance that somebody gives me and saying, now I'm afraid to actually try it because there's risk involved, right? Because to stand up and say, I'm going to make a change and I'm going to do something different. I'm putting myself out there. And then I had to overcome the fear of rejection, the fear of failure, right? And I'll never forget the day I decided, I'm going to do it. I'm going to put my all into it. And I literally went up to the welfare office and I said, I don't need food stamps anymore. Where do I sign to stop getting them? Oh my gosh, the look on their face, they were like, what? Nobody does that. And I said, you know what? I have to do it because I want to make the most of this next opportunity in my life. And if I know that I'm getting food stamps, I'm not going to put forth my very best effort at starting this company. Oh my gosh, that took risk. That took guts. But you know what? The return on that investment was that I learned to be self-reliant. I learned resiliency. I learned self-regulation. And I learned to stand up and take advantage of that opportunity.
But if you're not willing to grow, if you're not willing to say, you know what, failure is not an option, right? Because failure is not fatal, nor is it final. But you got to step out. You know, this is about life. We all make mistakes. We all fall short, right? But what's the difference between somebody who's successful and somebody who is not? Kathy's thinking changed. Her outlook, her perspective of life changed. She no longer was seeing a glass half empty. She began to see life half full, and that gave her the opportunity to fill it up. But if we're constantly being a drain in people's lives, always getting and getting and giving and never giving, right? Nobody wants a quitter in their life. You know, how many people, you know, misery loves company. We were miserable. Our relationship was ugly. It was a relationship of dysfunction, right? I didn't even know, but my middle name was Al Bundy, right? I was always wanting everything for me, but nothing for Kathy, right? But when I woke up in the penitentiary, I began to realize here's an opportunity for us to change, for us to grow, to be better, not bitter. And we took advantage of that downtime, if you will, right? Right. But man, I tell you what, you talk about waking up to a reality that we created.
Oh my gosh.
And so here's the greatest thing about this. If you can create a world where it's dysfunctional and I'm gonna took my place here. I woke up in the penitentiary, 3 meals, a cot, the roof over my head, everything was being taken care of. And I created that experience while I was unconscious, while I was asleep. Now that I'm awake, I began to realize, now that I'm awake, what can I create now? What type of world can I create for myself, for Kathy and our kids, and for generations to come?
So really that realization of how do I leverage this second chance? As long as you have breath, you still have opportunity to change the course of your life. But it's going to take effort, it's going to take commitment, and it's going to take courage. Because if you don't have the courage to step out and say, you know what, I have to take advantage of this opportunity. I can no longer say, you know what, I'm halfway in, I'm partway in, but instead, you know what, I'm all in. You can transform your life. But you have to take a hard look at where you are, figure out how it is that you got there so that you can develop a plan to get out of that spot and create the life that you always wanted to live.
Is this gonna be easy? No. Is this gonna be hard? Yes. But if you're willing to put the effort, if you're willing to put the work in and whatever it's gonna take, as Kathy is saying, you can change your outcome. You can change your story. As Kathy said, as long as you have breath, right? Your story is not over.
So we began this show talking about relationship. We talked about relationships first and the importance of having second chances and leveraging those in relationships. The reason we did that is because if you can establish healthy relationship, then you are much more positioned to be successful and taking advantage of those second chances in work and in life. But if your relationship is doo-doo, if you cannot figure this out, then I promise you that you are going to struggle and keep falling down and tripping over in your own feet and trying to figure out work and life. When you get this right, then you take those same principles and you apply them to every other area. So when we come back,
we're going to give you the secrets on how to leverage your second chance. Stay tuned and we'll be back. Welcome back to TYRO TV. Today we're talking about second chances. And we want to talk about now how to leverage those second chances in your life.
Because just knowing that you have the opportunity for a second chance is not enough. And you already know that. We've talked a lot about the need for second chances in your relationship, at work, and in life. And I'm going to tell you the truth. If you don't get this right, the relationship, you're going to fail in every other area of your life. So now it's time for us to share with you the secrets, the things that you need to do that are actually going to help you make the most of your second chance.
The first thing you got to do in order to really understand what it means to have a second chance is to admit your faults. Take ownership of the highway that you're on, that you have all this trash in. In fact, I remember in my own personal life, I had so much garbage in my trash, it started going in other people's lanes. I had to go to other people to ask them for forgiveness, and by doing so, I'm picking up my trash out of their lane. The trash I left behind in the relationships I broke.
If you don't admit that you're the problem, then you will never fix it. You will never be able to actually leverage that second chance when it's everybody, well, you know what, if they would have. No, you are the problem. Pick up your trash, clear the highway, because you're the one making the mess.
Now, the next thing you have to do is you need to be consistent in your diligence in leveraging your second chance.
Because if you don't, then you're going to fall back to the same spot. What do we mean by this? When I went in and signed up and said, I don't want these food stamps anymore, I've got to create a better life. Now, that was a scary road. And there were days that I thought, oh my gosh, it's so much easier if I just go back to the way things used to be, right? Go take those food stamps, go back on welfare. But I had to tell myself, no, quitting is not an option. Every day I must put forth my best effort and live up to the standard that I want. The place that I told somebody, I said, you know what? I'm not going to need food stamps anymore. You won't see me back here again. And I had to hold myself into that lane to say, I have to work to make sure that that never happens again by being consistent and being diligent.
You know, let me add real quick to that, because one of the things you're going to find that birds of a feather flock together. Look at the people around you. You're all doing the same thing. If you're broken, you hang around broken people because you attract where you're at. If you want something different in your life, you got to be diligent in finding successful people to become part of their atmosphere, part of their dreams, part of their journey, because guess what? Birds of a feather flock together. Run with the lame, you get a limp.
And so the third secret is accountability. Now that might sound like some lofty concept, but accountability is real and it's raw. And that means you're finding people that you know care enough about you and your future, that you trust their wisdom and their judgment, and you're being honest with them, saying, hey, here's my struggle. Gosh, you know, when I encountered this, I always have given up in the past. Can you help me overcome this? Because I know I'm gonna come and I'm gonna see this mountain again. I need your help to encourage me to keep going even when it's tough.
So you got to find 3 people in your sphere of influence that you can trust, that you can confide in, that you can be transparent with. Because if you don't have those 3 people in your life, we promise you, you will end up back to where you started from. You have to be held accountable for how you think, for how you speak, and how you act.
Healthy relationships are going to change your life. They're going to position you for a place of success instead of keeping you in the position of failure. When you leverage these second chances, then that means that you're growing stronger together. You're admitting when you're wrong. You're saying every single day, you know what, with humility, that I am going to make myself transparent. I'm going to recognize when I'm the problem. I'm going to be accountable, and I'm going to be consistently diligent.
Now it's time to get to work. Clean up your highway.
Thank you so much for letting us be part of your journey. We'll see you next time on TYRO TV. And until then, always remember,
We are rooting for you.